We're going home, come on.
Jacob, how are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm scrambling, but yeah, I'm doing fine.
Scrambling?
Yeah, I have a lot to do and short period of time.
No.
Yeah. There's two. I think everybody here, yeah.
No, he's not here. I have the Teams meeting open. Well, we'll have to record it anyway. Not see anyone on.
See, to be on there.
Mm-hmm.
She's been emailing, so she's around for sure.
She said earlier today she'd be here, but she'd be off.
This is their
When is that working? Of course it's not.
What kid does it? I mean,
Oh, yeah.
find out who has the highest ratings. Jacob.
Yeah, the shortest meeting ever and the most amount of people.
Yeah,
right. You gotta
this is
listen to
definitely
everyone
a
here.
story.
The heck? He didn't need Sealy. He's not on it, didn't show up.
Nope.
No.
She's not on. You're good. I've been sitting on a beach chair for 3 days straight.
Transfers.
I'm okay.
WhatsApp number.
Okay, I'll be in a minute. Thanks. First said she's logging in right now.
Thank you for logging on. Okay, see what. Mm-hmm.
I'm gone if you find out anything, but Facebook, I could do something, but right now, the account is gone. I can't even find. There's no, I mean, there's no sign, there's nothing that says you know, like for you, you at least got emails that said,
Jane put like human under my account, but they'd be like, well, you're not the owner of this page, so how can you?
well, you're the admin, because you at least got emails that said you're
Yeah, he didn't.
you're in jail. You know, you're in Facebook jail. I didn't even get anything, though. Nothing.
Yeah.
I thought I would. I'd be like, oh, I approve you.
Exactly.
I got nothing. Nothing. No.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, could we make a new one? I mean, put underscore or
I haven't
something.
even been able to do Instagram yet.
Oh, Instagram's missing from here
I'm
too.
assuming they're both related because it's the same.
Hold on, let me get an Instagram. Let's see if I can do it. I think Instagram was looked like we removed from
Promise a
it.
super short meeting. But we just need to be here.
I see, just got a quorum and then we can.
Yeah, it's looked like Instagram is no post, but it looks like it's available online.
It is?
Yeah.
Oh.
I
Yeah.
wonder if visit celebration could be restarted.
No, thank you.
And I don't know. I have a feeling if you fight the
Hey,
fight,
Sean,
good luck.
I see you there.
Something what needs to be.
No, that's a different story.
Submitted video.
I don't think
Itself
she
with a
used it.
human, like, I don't.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
No, sounds on.
Celia, are you there? I think your mic's muted. It said leaving and she left.
Okay, so just figuring that out. Okay, so let's use mine here.
So if we don't make an agreement in this meeting, does that dinosaur chop our heads off? Chop our heads off, I guess?
No, Spiney's a nice dinosaur.
Okay.
Today.
Okay, yeah.
Hey
Sorry.
there.
I
Right.
couldn't log into the system. I'm so sorry.
That's all right. Well, I promise this will be a short meeting, probably the shortest one we've had.
Yes.
It is 1:05. Let's call the meeting to order. Lauren, was the meeting properly noticed?
It was.
Do we have a quorum?
You do?
Are there any owners online?
No.
No. All right, do I have a motion to adopt the agenda? Second, all in favor?
Right.
Aye. All right, two quick action items. One is to review the proposals and award the agreement for the Visit Celebration website. Adrian, do you want to give us your opinion on the three proposals that you received?
Yes. So Fahrenheit is clearly the most cheapest and reasonably priced. It's familiar, or it's similar to the town center one right now, so the back end is pretty user friendly. The only downside is that there's only 10 pages you can create on there.
Is that the limit to the template or?
To
That's the
the,
tab.
to the proposal, 10 pages.
Oh, so,
Under each tab, you can have 30, 40, 50 businesses listed though.
Right,
yeah, which
Yeah, I guess that makes sense.
but I think, so it should be good enough for what we're trying to do, right? Is that what you're saying? And then, but for growth, we could always add stuff later down the road, right? And to get it up and going.
Well, across the top of the page, if you use the stuff that's from the logo, like live, shop, or dine.
Is that, we're talking about the 10
Yeah,
separate?
you got 10
Oh, there's probably more than enough.
pages, and then under each page, you can limitlessly put the number of businesses. So, in your opinion, from the three proposals that you got, is that who you're recommending?
In terms of price and user friendliness, yes. But I feel like the shell one is a little bit more complex and it offers more of a storyline. Just because there's more like tools and stuff, but
What tools are you looking for? Like tools to actually post or to
So,
change the website?
Let me interject. So basically, looking at the three providers,
Mhm.
right now, I'm not sure how strong or how powerful, how well visited the Celebration Town Center page is. If we're going for that look, great, then Fahrenheit's your thing. If you're looking for new and more people coming into our town and visiting us, you need to get a storyline, because that's a very basic 1980s, 1990s website. It's so basic. It gets the function done, but you're not going to get return visits or return clicks, as you would call it. We need something now that if you want to come out and say, hey, here's our new website, come visit us. And it's something that you can see back from a century ago, per se. I hate to say it that way. Yes, we're a 1950s style town, but our technology should be up to par and giving a story that, say, for instance, a marketing specialist can take care of it and simply give you a good story, and then people come and look at the rest of the story about Celebration.
So much
From
for
what
a
you-
fast meeting.
Hmm?
Is it so much
I
for a
have a
fast meeting?
question.
Yes, I'm sorry, yeah,
No,
that's
no,
why
it's
I'm here.
Not your, not your fault, but
Yeah.
so let me see if I can understand. So Are you saying just the design is different? Because it sounds like you're talking the design is different more than anything, but is that what you mean? Because
So-
functionality is it, I mean, what are we using? We're using the same, I mean,
Well, for now, we don't really care what we're using in the backend because I don't know what.
well, I think we want to make sure we set it up because we don't want it to be overly complicated like the
Oh, no,
Pro site, right? I mean,
no. So the Corolla site isn't complicated. It's just old and not been modernized over time.
right.
So
So what is our market? The answer, it's lying in that answer. Because if it's our market in the town, the people that we want are our people or the young crowds that they're gonna be like, oh, no, this is too old for me, 1980s, right? So what is our market?
Yeah.
Who are we
Who's
targeting
the
with
one
that
put the
website?
Sample in there. Wasn't there a PDF with,
The sample one is from Shell.
is that who we're talking about?
well, we're looking at either or. So it's either Shell
But one was
or.
a huge, I mean, one was, I mean, there was 98
Right.
pricing, right? I mean,
So one of them has $38,000. Now, fine, granted, it's a lot of money, but
we're not paying.
they're providing you everything that you need, all the photography, everything. And again, it's all negotiable and stuff that you can take out.
So let
If we
me
have
ask
the
you
photos,
something,
if we have the
because
videos.
you're probably trying to pitch us that one, right?
No,
Is
I'm
there
not
any
pitching
way?
either.
No?
I am pitching.
Because
the-
it looks
to
like
advise that
you
there's a
would
story
like to
required.
upgrade the town one as well. So can we go in together on that spend and kind of with that server provide us that opportunity to kind of, is that even an option for us? Kind of going in
Yeah,
together
so-
with this new branding of this website?
Yeah, so basically what I've told each vendor, even Fahrenheit, that we need two things done. We need a brand new site for visit celebration, and we need an upgrade to our current celebration Pro site for our residents. So both of them need to be done, and they've given us quotes for both. Now, they know that they're two separate projects. So if we want them to work on it together and give it some sort of combined storyline, you know, here are the residents and
Mhm.
obviously the resident side, outsiders are not gonna
And share
see.
the expense.
But the public
Mhm.
side, you know, you want that story to be cohesive. Yes, that's where my goal is, to make sure if we get a vendor, it should be the same vendor. And for me, Fahrenheit does not offer that. They offer a page design, but no story. But I bet if you asked Fahrenheit to provide us the storyline and everything, that price is going to increase.
I don't understand what you mean by storyline. Like, what do we want them to create a storyline?
It's a basic visual. You know, it's like how you.
Well, you think the other people aren't gonna make a visual appearance? What, did they show a sample or something like that, the other people?
They've shown us their work that they've done at other websites. And
I think what the crux of it is, from what it sounds like from talking to Don and hearing them talk to these people, is I think you can get a good product from either company, whichever way you go. One's just gonna, going the Fahrenheit route, we think it's gonna require more lift for the staff versus more of the lifts that would be taken on by Shell in terms of the initial.
Creating the site,
Creating the site.
graphic, yeah, okay, custom HTML,
Yeah.
whatever, yeah, okay, so it's less work for us. So instead, we're not gonna spend 60 man hours setting up the site.
Exactly.
I have
Okay,
a couple comments to make. First of all, the Fahrenheit one, they use Celebration Town Center as an example, but that's not the look you have to go with. You can choose any WordPress visual element, visual layout that you want. It doesn't have to look like ours.
Right, and we're
Yeah,
trying
it
to move
was.
away from WordPress as well, in a sense. WordPress is a nice product, but it's a complicated product for someone who needs to work on it and does other work. Now, if we had a WordPress administrator sitting here doing all that work, sure.
what
But-
do you use instead of WordPress?
But you're talking to someone that uses the website, WordPress on a daily basis. I do all the changes to websites. It's relatively easy. It's not.
Well, I'm not saying that it may not be easy for you, but if you have someone who doesn't know, like our two staff here, they know enough, but not,
Then what are they proposing that would be, I mean,
they won't know until we go further with them and ask for more information.
but I mean, they're gonna set something up, but what are tools are you gonna use to update it, right? You guys are gonna have
We
to add
told them
blog,
that
you guys are gonna have to, I mean,
Yeah, we asked for simplicity, we asked for ease of use, ease of, you know, like for instance, on the CNOA side.
you telling me they're not gonna use WordPress?
They're gonna,
I don't think that it's the back end is really the issue. I think here's the crux of the issue. You're gonna get a good site from both of them. Do we want to spend more man hours and go with the Fahrenheit because it's a better price and it's a known entity to people in the room? Or do we want to go with Shell? It's a little bit more money, but it's gonna be less staff time on the front end.
And we think maybe with Fahrenheit that there might be just a couple charges in the build out that aren't here yet. I don't think it's anything any major, but we just notating that there might be more with consultation as we build out. Nothing too out of the blue, but
My question still is, on both of them actually,
Mhm.
is how is somebody going to update it? And how easy it is? What are they using on the back end? To me, that would be the most important thing, because if Adriana has to add a news article, I mean, let's hope we have news every week. We're gonna try to add news. She's gonna add stuff. I mean, how hard is it for her gonna do it? What's the back end for either of them? That's, to me, one of the bigger questions, right?
yeah, they've all said different types of products. They even said WordPress, but different products in WordPress that are easier than what we're using today. Right? We're not set in stone in that. We're just talking to them. We're asking what we want up front on the front end side. We'll worry about the back end because it'll change depending on what we do. So some of that stuff can be a sub-site where you don't need a WordPress. Something could be as simple as for them to administer it, they just simply upload a file and it gets published into the system.
Yeah, but when you say they, we don't want them to.
No. Meaning our ladies here.
Reviewing
Yeah.
all three bids and seeing Sharp Shell, there will be a lot more hidden cost in the Sharp Shell one. And cost to man it and staff it and create pages will end up costing more Sharp Shell along the way.
Now,
I mean, as far as Fahrenheit's go, the only reason why I'm speaking so highly of them is because I'm familiar with it. If you were to tell me right now, go put a page in for Level Up Salon, I could have that up and on the page in less than 5 minutes.
You do it.
Yeah, it's
Right.
that easy.
Well, that's why I think it's important that we have to
That's
find out how.
That's what I mean, something that's that easy to use from.
That's why I
now.
suggested even using alternatives,
Yeah.
But we still would have to create it ourselves or have somebody create it from scratch either way.
yeah,
So,
So does somebody have a motion?
No, my motion is actually gonna be to table this because I don't think with this new information just provided right now, we're not in a position to vote on these. I'd like to make a motion to eliminate, what was the first company?
IDX.
To eliminate IDX from contention and table a decision between Fahrenheit, Sharp Shell, or when do you return?
2 weeks, but I could
In
vote
2 weeks.
via email, or if you guys have
You can
it.
vote via email if we.
Yeah.
So we
I'll-
want to know the
yeah.
back end, what their suggestion is for the back end.
My thing is how easy it for them. I mean, I could see every day adding news articles, adding blogs, writing articles, doing that stuff. How easy it is, because right now, obviously, the CNOA site is not easy. We don't want to get into that situation.
Yeah,
We want to make it easy from the very
there
beginning.
are millions of tools that I can tell you that they can use that'll update a site and will update social
Yeah, and
media.
she has experience with some of them too.
Right.
So, but I just want to make sure that that's in the quote that we're able to do it, because we don't want to expect them to.
Right, and then now that we have a new person, Jennifer now.
Yeah.
She's the new marketing and.
Right.
And comms manager.
Right.
She knows, and she's going to be helping with this.
Yeah.
I think we need to revisit all three vendors.
Sure.
Or even more
Yeah.
another vendor if we can, and say, hey, she's now going to say what she needs and what she wants, and I'll come in with the technical aspects, make sure we're still aligned, see what Fahrenheit has to offer now with her input. Maybe it'll change, maybe the price will go up, maybe the price will stay the same, don't know. And then we'll just move forward with getting a better view now that she's here and now she can
But
help.
just remember that our stuff
Mhm.
is not what Crow is looking. We're literally trying to
Once
get
again,
something up.
yeah, we're not trying to reinvent the wheel for anyone else's marketing. All we want to do is simply be a platform for existing businesses to express their own marketing efforts. We're not replacing their marketing.
No,
So
you're
let's do
placing my
on
understanding.
Meetings with Fahrenheit
Yeah.
and the Shell one.
Yeah.
And figure out what the back end is, user friendliness, and then we'll send that out with a final recommendation.
Yeah.
All right, so let me revise my motion. My motion is to eliminate IDX from contention.
Table the action item. to
Table the action item.
On the background of the user experience from Fahrenheit and Shell.
Yes, and in the meantime, in the next 10 days, can you try to get at least one more proposal for comparison's sake?
Yeah. And I say for you guys is what you're gonna be most is adding some stuff in the database. A company comes and goes, closes, that kind of stuff. And then also blogging, because it's gonna be more important later on with people not Google searching and that kind of stuff, going through chat, going through AI, making sure we have some long form content that they can pull from, because we need to start posting things basically. So people will get pulled as an authority and stuff like that. And then Curl can point to us, we can have you point to us, other companies can do that, so we're not talking a whole lot, but it's definitely, it should be more simple than Curl.
Got a motion, do we have a second?
Yep, second.
Mhm.
All in favor? Aye.
Not sure what it was, but it was, okay, kick it down the can, let's do it. Yeah.
All right.
May I ask a question? So the goal of Visit Celebration, right? That is a goal of like getting people from all over the world, all over the country, wherever, to come here.
Yeah, but
And
let's be,
visit our shop.
let's be realistic.
Right. No, it's
I
gonna be
mean,
local.
we're not,
Yeah.
we're not.
We're not trying to
We're not
operate,
Shrink
visiting
the
Florida,
circle,
we're
yes.
not
Yeah.
Kissimmee, we're.
we're not trying to operate as a convention visitors bureau.
Yeah.
We simply want to operate as an information source.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like you said,
You need to give it a story, otherwise you're not gonna get even locals
Sure.
to look at your site.
Well, and I would say, by the way, for Chroma too, is if you go to celebration.fl.us, it doesn't tell the story anymore.
No.
There literally is no longer
Yeah.
what we're doing. It's homeowner stuff. You're thrown with homeowner stuff. I would love to be on that site where say, if you're a homeowner, stay here. If you're a guest visiting, then go here. You know what I mean? Come to
Yeah.
our site. And that, our site should be that, because it really doesn't say anything. It's, you go to Babcock Ranch, and you go to all these other places that are really the new, but they'll be integrated. I think we should look at that a little bit. We've separated quite a bit, from what Celebration is. People are coming to Celebration, I'm sure, .fl.us, looking for houses and looking for businesses and looking for, that kind of stuff. They're not getting that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think that's something we have to look at. When you're doing it, I agree.
There's like, I think we have a business page in Celebration FL,
Yeah,
Adriana?
it's not been updated.
No, I
Right.
granted,
Make this discussion ongoing.
yeah, I'm just,
So-
yes, you're right.
But I think as you put it together, that's
Yeah,
something,
it should meld
Okay,
in a
right.
way,
right?
so that if you stumble on the Celebration resident side,
Right.
there's always something that will lead
We should
back
be,
to.
visit Celebration should be on your site, click a nice little tab and come over to the Visit Celebration site, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Okay, the second action item we had is at the last borough meeting, they voted to kick the farmer's market to CNOA. We just need to have a vote to go ahead and agree to accept that and to authorize Grant Manners to move forward with the agreement, drafting the agreement.
and it's at the same terms and stuff,
Yeah.
oh, sorry, different
No,
terms, right?
no.
Right.
It's gonna be, they pay us nothing,
Oh, that's great.
but they will own all the electrical drops. The only thing that we have to do is block off the street in the evening. They will clean. There will be a provision in the contract that if the streets and the garbage cans are not clean and emptied after the event, we will be charging them for the cost of cleaning it afterwards. They're going to be responsible for drastically improving the quality of the market. And if it's not improved within the first 6 months, I think is what we talked about, then.
Well, we have an out clause.
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
okay, anyway,
But our 20% growth is kind of our goal. We want to see 20% growth within 6 months.
but there's an out clause on it.
There's an outlaw.
Yes.
The signage for the farmer's market,
Yeah.
have you seen it downstairs? It looks a little bit.
That's actually on the discussion.
Okay,
Yeah.
but maybe we could,
We're,
if it's taking the money, like maybe if she still has to pay for a little bit, maybe we could say, we could still use that money. Maybe to make the signs. If it costs us anything for the signs, maybe we should charge her for the signs.
Gotcha, yeah.
Right?
'Cause right
So
now,
maybe it
it's
costs
pretty
us-
much net neutral for Proa.
Right.
because we expect-
But if we have to pay $200 for the signs, somehow maybe she should pay for that instead of dropping completely to $0 first week, maybe it's, hey, by the way, we're creating signs, we want you to pay for the signs, something like that. I hate for us to have to take money for
Yeah.
the signs for that.
We actually never got a motion to start the discussion.
Okay,
Yeah,
second,
all right, all in favor? You say aye?
Okay.
yeah.
All in favor to
Aye.
accept it, say aye.
But I still want to make sure we
Sealy?
charge her for the signage, if
Aye.
we're gonna change it.
Okay, so we accept the CNOA market and authorize Graham Hash to move forward with drafting the agreement. That's it for action items. Under board comments, one of them was just what we discussed, signs for the market. There's handwritten Saturdays, 10
Yeah.
p.m. just don't look very
I
good.
already pinged Nikki on that.
Do we have a date yet set for the ARC committee? Supposed to move forward with the finding that we discussed at the last meeting?
Danica and I are talking about that today in terms of setting up, because I'm getting her in touch with the, what's her face from Killwins.
So
She's the only one
comments.
that's not.
Didn't we start finding, or what was that meeting?
No,
I was
you guys
just,
proposed to push it to proposed fines to your covenants committee. So now your covenants committee will be meeting next week.
I thought we're the governance committee, no?
No, you cannot be a board and a covenants.
But I thought
committee
we're
at
the
same
next,
time.
we're the appeals board then?
You're the appeals board.
Okay, so who is our covenants committee? Is it actually
It's-
covenant?
It's,
Or is it staff?
what's her face? Susan Bowden from the Tavern, the manager of Killwins, and then Alma from Malia.
Yeah.
And any Malia items, she will have to
Excuse yourself.
recuse herself.
So, okay, maybe we'll just table that for another time. Maybe there's some, is there that covenants people? I mean,
It was pulling teeth to get these three.
yeah, but I assume it doesn't even have to be, I mean, who has to make up the covenants? I mean, committee.
Is it members of the association?
It should generally be members of the
Yeah.
association.
Okay, and the only other thing I have, if you can give me the dimensions of the water tower, can you give me the dimensions of that?
Yeah.
Because if they move the banner up higher, they need to know the dimensions of the columns.
Okay.
Yeah, it seems really, or did you see the lights? My picture with the lights?
That's the way the lights have always been.
No, I have an old picture. Definitely did not like that.
And there were lights up on the tower.
It was, yeah, it was shadowing differently. I could show you old pictures a bit, but the way those things are in the way. So it was definitely different. If you look at old pictures, you can see them online. Somebody sent me, some resident somehow sent me a list of like 5 pictures and said, how, I'm like, okay, thanks. So somebody cared a lot more than us.
Okay. Any more comments?
When do we start the farmer's market? When's the contract come in?
It'll switch over to you guys in July.
Till, whatever the first.
It's in the agreement. There'll also have to be provisions that CROA accepts that it'll be at Lakeside
For,
for like whatever, a
Sometime.
couple
I
of
think
weekends.
3 weekends.
It's like 3 weekends out of the year.
but that would,
Car show, marathon. That's one other one. Okay, if there are no other new business or board comments, then this meeting is adjourned.
We need a motion.
Oh, need a motion to adjourn? Need a motion to adjourn?
so moved.
Thank you.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
You could do it with no,
Aye.
Motion to adjourn. I mean, motion.